Hey everyone, it's Delta270, and today I have an airport update at Palms View International Airport for July. There are 3 new models in this update, and I've done a lot of things cosmetically with 2 of the terminals. And I've also added jetways, but they're not the ones you're probably expecting. These are made out of wood because I don't feel like paying that much money for a pack of jetways for 100 plus gates for this airport. But anyway, we'll start on runway 27 on the left. Over here we have a Delta 757-300. That's going to be making a flight over to Portland, and it came in from Minneapolis. Holding short, we have Northwest Orient 707. That's going to be making a flight over to Seattle via Minneapolis and Los Angeles. This is operating for the Vintage Aircraft program at the airport. And what it is basically, in simple terms, a railway museum but for airplanes. So that's what's happening there. And it's like an excursion type thing that people pay to be on. Over here we have a Delta 737-900. That's going to be making a flight over to Fort Lauderdale, and it came from Milwaukee. Down here we have a Delta 737-700 that's going to be making a flight over to Punta Cana, and it came in from Louisville. And taking off we have a Delta A321 that's going to Boston, and it came in from Atlanta. Now on runway 27 right, we have a Korean Air 777-300 that's just coming in from Seoul. And over here we have a Delta MD-88 that's going to Richmond, and it came in from, that came in from Oklahoma City. And over here we have a Delta 757-200 Sky Team that is going to St. Kitts, and it came in from Reykjavik. Over here, just pulling off the roll, we have a Caribbean Airlines 737-800 that came in from Tobago, which is a new service for Palms View, and it's going to be going back out there in an hour or two. And over here we have an American MD-80 that's going to be making a flight over to making a flight over to Pittsburgh, and it came in from Houston Intercontinental. We'll be moving on to JetBlue's Terminal 2. As you can see, this is one of the terminals that has jetways now, and also has some new foils on it, and it looks a lot less sloppy than it did before. So, starting off, we have a JetBlue A321. That's going to be making a flight over to New York JFK, and it came in from San Francisco. Just getting some service for flight to Washington National. We have a JetBlue A320 10th anniversary that came in from Newark. Over here we have a JetBlue A320 barcode with sharklets. That's going to be making a flight over to Cancun, and it came in from Bermuda. And just coming into the gate from Fort Lauderdale, this JetBlue A320 I Heart New York is going to be making a flight over to Boston. Next we'll be covering Terminal 1. The time zone for this update right now, by the way, is 10 a.m. And there's also a few GAA routes in this update. So if you want a GAA route, you can just leave a comment on the video if you want one. But anyway, this Delta 777-200 is just about to push back for a flight to Los Angeles, and it came from Johannesburg. They'll be coming back here making a flight to Central Texas or Gemini 1975's airport. Pushing back out gate 22 Alpha, this Delta MD-90's going to Austin, and it came from Philadelphia. And the reason it's pushing back like that is because the way this gate is set up, this is an old regional jet gate. They park them diagonally because the wing span won't fit over here. So they have to park them like that in order not to interfere with traffic that's waiting to take off. But the airport is looking at ways at improving that. An example is over here where they're looking at putting a new parking space and erasing this one, or eliminating this one, so that would make parking more efficient, and it would just get rid of the old regional jet configuration that was here. But anyway, Oh yeah, that's gate 22 Bravo, by the way, which was used for RJs at one time, but it's not anymore. Over here, waiting to push back, we have a Delta 737-800 that's going to be making a flight to San Juan. And it hasn't pushed back yet because there's a few storms in the Puerto Rico area. So they're just waiting for a reroute and just waiting to see if they can get there in the first place. And it came in from Cincinnati. There's the ground equipment working again at painting a new gate. Over here, we have a Delta A320 that's going to be making a flight over to Detroit, and it came from New York LaGuardia. It's going to be heading to Detroit in an hour. We have a Delta MD-88 that's going to be making a flight over to Kansas City, and it came from Chicago O'Hare. Over here, just about to push back, we have a Delta 737-900 with splits. This is the first new model. This is going to Denver, and it came from Raleigh-Durham. Over here, we have a Delta MD-88 just getting some service for a flight to Montego Bay, and it came in from Indianapolis. Over here, we have another Delta A320 that's going to be making a flight over to Port-au-Prince, and it came from Antigua. And over here we have a Delta 737-900 getting some service for a flight to New Orleans, and it came from Baltimore. Over here we have a Delta 757-200 that's just getting ready to be pushed back for a flight over to Orange County, and it came from Seattle. Over here on the other side of the terminal, we have a Delta 767-300 that's going to be making a flight over to Salt Lake City. No, not that one. San Francisco, and it came from Santiago, and it's going to come back here and make a flight over to Rice Rock or Gemini Bros for Life's Airport. This terminal has new foils, by the way, and a jetway, or like 3 jetways actually. I still have to make more of them. There'll be more in the future, definitely, but it's just I haven't had enough wood to finish the entire terminal yet. But anyway, over here we have a Delta A330-300 getting some service for a flight to Honolulu, and it came in from Honolulu. They'll be coming back here making a flight over to Koki International or Gemini PR's airport. Over here, getting some catering, we have a Delta 767-300 Habitat for Humanity that's going to be making a flight over to Salt Lake City, and it came from Anchorage. And I added these piers on the terminal. This is kind of based off of JFK and Detroit. They have stuff like this going on at the terminals. I think it looks really nice. And there'll be jetways added eventually that kind of come out from them and then just reach out to the plane. But anyway, we have a China Southern 777-200 that's going to Guangzhou, and it came in from there around 5 a.m. this morning. Over here, we have a Delta A350 that's getting some fuel for a flight over to Tokyo Narita, and it came from Shanghai Pudong last night. And this just arrived about 40 minutes early. Don't know how that happened, but it happened. Air France A340 from Paris Charles de Gaulle, and it's going to be heading back out there shortly. I'll be moving on to Delta's Terminal 5. And by the way, when I was talking about the piers on Terminal 1, I still need to put one here. It's just I didn't have enough wood to do the whole thing. But this one here will be coming soon. Over here we have a Delta A319 getting some service for a flight over to New York JFK. And it came from West Palm Beach, and they'll be making a flight. They'll come back here and make a flight over to Shoreview or Delta Flyer HD's airport. Over here we have a Delta 717 arriving from Toronto Pearson, I think. Hold on. Yeah, Toronto Pearson. They'll be making a flight over to Newark, and then I'll come back here and make a flight over to Riverside County or Miami Aviation HD's airport. I'll be moving on to Delta's Terminal 5. And by the way, when I was talking about the piers on Terminal 1, I still need to put one here. It's just I didn't have enough wood to do the whole thing. But this one here will be coming soon. Over here we have a Delta A319 getting some service for a flight over to New York JFK. And it came from West Palm Beach, and they'll be making a flight. They'll come back here and make a flight over to Shoreview or Delta Flyer HD's airport. Over here we have a Delta 717 arriving from Toronto Pearson, I think. Hold on. Yeah, Toronto Pearson. Then I'll be making a flight over to Newark, and then I'll come back here and make a flight over to Riverside County or Miami Aviation HD's airport. Covering Terminal 3, Concourse A. Over here, we have a Silver Airways Saab 340. That's going to be making a flight over to Key West, and it came in from Orlando. Over here, we have United Express CRJ 700. That's going to be making a flight over to Washington Dulles, and it came in from Washington National. Pushing back, we have United Express CRJ 200. That's going to be making a flight over to Cleveland, and it came in from Orlando. Cleveland has recently been moved to mainline service, by the way, but the flight just isn't here right now. Over here we have United A319. That's going to be making a flight over to San Juan, and it came in from Cancun. Here we have an empty gate, and I still have to do the jetways for the rest of these. Mainly these gates. I'm still trying to figure out one for this one, because the Lufthansa 747-8 also parks here. So I have to try to make it work for an A320 and a 748. Well, I'll probably just end up switching jetways when it's necessary. Anyway, we have a United A320 Friendship. That'll be making a flight over to Houston, and it came in from Denver. Over here, getting some service, we have a United 737-800 with splits. That'll be making a flight over to San Francisco, and it came from Washington Dulles. Over here, getting some catering. This is the second new model. We have United 737-900 Eco Skies. This is an amazing model. I suggest you get it if you can find it. They'll be making a flight over to Newark, and it came in from Chicago O'Hare. Empty gate. And we have a United A320 with the ground power unit, or just piece of Lego, but we'll call it ground power unit for now. That's going to be making a flight over to Denver, and it came in from Boston. Now on the Concourse B, over here we have a Sun Country 737-800. That's just going to be waiting for its passengers for a while. This is operating a charter flight to Havana, and they ferried it in from Fort Myers this morning. And it's parking here because the charter flights don't operate out of the same gate as the normal flights do, which Sun Country's gate is over here. So they parked it over here because it's a charter flight. Over here we have a Virgin America A319 that's about to get some service for a flight to Los Angeles, and it came in from Los Angeles. Empty Frontier gate, and pulling into that gate will be a Frontier A320 that came in from Chicago O'Hare, and it's going to make a flight over to Cancun. Over here we have a Frontier A319 that'll be making a flight over to Cleveland, and it came in from Trenton. I think over here, even though it's not shown, the diagonal gate here would be another Frontier gate, and then over here would be a Hawaiian gate, and then another Hawaiian gate. I'm just kind of showing you what's not actually shown, just to kind of help you guys understand the airport more. Over here we have an Allegiant MD-80 on the stands. That was ferried in from Orlando Sanford, and it's going to make a charter flight up to Grand Rapids. So over here by Terminal 4 with one single plane, busy times, we have a Copa 737-800 getting some service for a flight over to Panama City today, and it came in from there. And one thing you may have noticed I did with Terminal 4 is I took away the big block assembly that went all the way out to here. And when I do this, it just allows for planes to pass easier. It allows a lot more room to pass. So that's mainly why I did that. Plus it just kind of looks nicer like that. Oh yeah, and the Allegiant, that's over here right now because they have to keep the general aviation ramp sort of open. And when it's 2 hours before you're supposed to depart to Grand Rapids, it'll tow them over there. So that's be covering the taxiways on the third board. Over here we have a United Airlines 757-300 that's going to be taxiing runway 28 right, which obviously isn't shown in the diorama, but hopefully sometime in the future it'll exist. This is going to be going to Chicago O'Hare, and it came in from Newark, then it's going to come back here and make a flight over to Goldmanville or Gemini GGG's airport. Over here we have a UPS MD-11 that's just coming in from Dallas-Fort Worth. Wait, hold on. Yeah, that's coming in from Dallas-Fort Worth, and it came from Louisville. This came in on runway 28. Did it come on 28 left? Yeah, sure. Came in on 28 left. This came in from this Interjet A320. Came in from, hold on. That came in from Mexico City, and it's gonna make a flight back over there. And over here we have an American A319. That's gonna be making a flight over to Mexico City, and it came from Dallas Fort Worth. Covering American's Terminal 6. This American A321 is getting some service for a flight over to San Francisco, and it came from Cancun. And the thing with American right now is that a lot of their planes are boarding right now. So they'll be leaving, most of them will be leaving at around 10:30ish. And then the arriving flights can have a lot of open gates. That's kind of what Delta's doing right now. Anyway, we have an American 767-300. That's going to be making a flight over to Dallas Fort Worth, and it came from near JFK. Over here we have an American 757-200 getting some service for a flight over to Miami, and it came in from Phoenix. Over here we have the American 738 Reno Air. That's going to be making a flight over to Boston, and it came in from Minneapolis. Over here we have an American 737-800 new livery. That's going to be making a flight over to Fort Lauderdale, and it came in from Charlotte. Over here we have an American A319. That's going to be making a flight over to Guatemala City, and it came from Colorado Springs. Over here we have an American Eagle CRJ-700 operated by Envoy. That's going to be making a flight over to Jacksonville, and it came from Norfolk. Over here we have the Ground Operations Tower. And over here we have the American 737-800 old livery. That's going to be making a flight over to Chicago O'Hare, and it came from Denver. And pulling into the gate over here we have an American A320 that's coming in from Atlanta, and it's going to make a flight over to Charlotte. Moving to the wide body side of Terminal 6, we have an American A330-300. That came in from Philadelphia earlier, and now it's about to get some service for a flight over to Kona, Hawaii. Over here we have a LATAM 787-9. That's going to be making a flight over to Lima, and it came in from Santiago. Over here we have an American 777-300. That's going to be making a flight over to Hong Kong, and it came in from Sao Paulo. Moving on to the cargo side of things at the UPS cargo terminal. First thing you might notice is that I have these wooden dowels set up. These are what might become light posts. I just have to figure out exactly how I'm going to develop them. I already kind of got a few ideas, but I just don't have the materials to make them yet, so they're just going to stay like that for now. But anyway, we have a UPS 767-300. That's going to be making a flight over to Bogota, and it came in from Louisville. And over here we have a UPS 767-300 getting some service for a flight to Chicago O'Hare, and it came in from Philadelphia. And over here, just about to be pushed back, we have a FedEx MD-10 that's pushing back for a flight to Memphis, and it came in from Los Angeles. Okay guys, I kind of messed up the route for the American A319. Aside from the route it was doing, it'll come back here and make a flight over to Fort Lauderdale or JXXX's airport. Moving on to Terminal 7, we have a Delta Connection CRJ-900. That's coming in from Grand Rapids, and it's going to make a flight over to Houston Hobby later. Over here we have a Delta Connection CRJ-700. That's going to be making a flight over to... Who wants to focus? Okay. That's going to be making a flight over to Killeen Fort Hood, and it came from Tulsa. Over here we have a Delta Connection Saab 340. That's going to be making a flight over to Sarasota, and it came from Pensacola. Over here we have a Delta Connection E-170. That's going to be making a flight over to Tampa, and it came in from Orlando. And over here, pushing back, we have a Southwest 737-300. That's going to be making a flight over to Fort Lauderdale, and it came from Houston Hobby. Over here we have Southwest 737-700 Triple Crown. That's going to be making a flight over to St. Louis, and it came from Milwaukee. Pushing back as well, we have a Southwest 737-800. That's going to make a flight over to San Diego, and it came from Nashville. And over here we have the Nevada Battleborn Southwest 737-700. That's going to be making a flight over to Baltimore, and it came from Chicago Midway. Spirit A319 pushing back for a flight to Fort Lauderdale, and it came from Philadelphia around 9 a.m. Over here we have the third new model. We have the Norwegian 737 MAX 8. That came in from Punta Pietra, and it's going to be making a flight back over there. And out of here, Norwegian also does flights to Fort de France, Cork, Shannon, and Belfast, and Bergen as well in the 737. Over here we have the 787-9 for Norwegian. That came in from Oslo, and it's going to be making a flight over to ASJ International or ASJ Aviation's airport. And over here we have an Emirates A380 Wildlife that came in from Dubai, and it's going to make a flight over to London Heathrow or LHR Champs Airport, and then it's going to continue on to Dubai. And we have the fire truck coming over here waiting for the Caribbean 738 because he's going to park over there because it's a new service, so they're going to do a water salute. And over here we have a U.S. Air Force C-5 that came in from Ramstein Air Force Base in Germany just to deliver some stuff to the vintage aircraft program. And it's going to make a flight over to Patrick Air Force Base in Florida. And back here we have a Hawaiian A330-200. That's going to be making a flight over to Honolulu, and it came in from there. And by the way, guys, this is the taxiway that leads to runway 28 left for departure. And over here is a new section of the airport I've been working on. This is a section of the hard stands that are on the southwestern side of the airport. This is where planes overnight and just kind of where airlines tow the planes over here to get some of their gates open. Over here we have a Delta A330-200 that's going to be going back over to the gate around, I think, probably 1 p.m. That's making a flight over to Milan, and it came from Madrid. What happened here is that when it came in from Madrid yesterday, they towed it over to the Tech Ops hangar for an inspection. They towed it back out over here, and it's going to get towed over to the gate for its flight to Milan, which is also new for the airport, so that's good. Over here we have an Icelandair 767-300. That's going to be making a flight over to Reykjavik. And the reason why this is here is because Icelandair has a flight that departs at 6, but the arriving flight comes in at 8. So that's what happens there, and it parks over at this terminal. So they're just trying to keep that terminal clear, just in case for other planes. And what these are like airline offices, and I want to put a hotel here too, so it's kind of like the one in Atlanta where it faces the hard stands. Here's some buses to Presenter Road. I still have to do a lot of work on this board, but I just thought I'd put in the update. And over here, this is at one of the 3 reliever terminals on this stand, or on this ramp. We have the Alaska 737-900, more to love. What happened here is that it was departing from Orlando and for a flight to Seattle, and during the departure there was a bird strike, so they turned it towards Palms View International Airport. Don't ask why they turned this way. I don't know, to be honest, even though it's my airport, but anyway. That had a bird strike, and the Alaska gate for them wasn't open, so they put it over here so that people could get off at this terminal. And then this whole thing here is just kind of a lounge space that connects to this terminal, so the terminal doesn't get crowded. So that's all for this update, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. And by the way, I was recording this entire update on my phone just to see the difference in quality, and that's why the audio probably sounds a bit different. Let me know how you guys like this video. I think with my phone, I was able to get better close-ups of the planes than with my camera, which is kind of bulky. I hope you guys enjoyed this update, and I'll see you guys in the next video.